We are finally, well, no, stop. Spot, stop, swap. The Charioteer's Dilemma, man, chapter 7. Think like a monk, think like a monk, should be more widely discussed. 'Cause I ain't leaving alone. Feel like I could be honest, babe. We both know that we're grown. That's why I wanna know. How many drinks would it take you to leave with me? Yeah, you look good and I got money, but I don't wanna waste my... Hi. Welcome to my bubble, where we do a little bit of adulting, a little bit of healing, and a little bit of creating. First of all, I just want to take a moment and give a shout out to not only discipline, but persistence and showing up for yourself, because I am exhausted, but I told myself I would have this video up by Sunday, so it's going up by Sunday. It is that time. We have made it. We are doing book club once again. This book is the book club on Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. If you have been watching my videos, you know that this was supposed to be months ago, but I deliver on my word, and I read it, and here we are. So, in regular book club fashion, we're going to go through in order. So again, we read Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Let's read the blurb. The back is all review. You ready? We're going to read the inside flaps. Jay Shetty, social media superstar and host of the #1 podcast On Purpose, distills the timeless wisdom he learned as a monk into practical steps anyone can take every day to live a less anxious, more meaningful life. Shetty grew up in a family where you could become one of three things: a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. His family was convinced he had chosen option 3. Instead of attending his college graduation ceremony, he headed to India to become a monk, to meditate every day for 4 to 8 hours and devote his life to helping others. After 3 years, one of his teachers told him he would have more impact on the world if he left the monk's path to share his experience and wisdom with others. Heavily in debt and with no recognizable skills on his resume, he moved back home in North London with his parents. Shetty reconnected with old school friends, many working for some of the world's largest corporations, who were experiencing tremendous stress, pressure, and unhappiness. And they invited Shetty to coach them on well-being, purpose, and mindfulness. Since then, Shetty has become one of the world's most popular thought leaders. In this inspiring, empowering book, Shetty draws on his time as a monk to show us how we can clear the roadblocks to our potential and power. Combining ancient wisdom and his own rich experiences in the ashram, Think Like a Monk reveals how to overcome negative thoughts and habits and access the calm and purpose that lie within all of us. He transforms abstract lessons into advice and experience and exercises we can all apply to reduce stress, improve relationships, and give the gifts we find in ourselves to the world. Shetty proves that anyone can and should think like a monk. Baby. Sidebar, were y'all able to popcorn effectively in class? Comment the gold star if you could popcorn in class. But anyway, yeah, that's really a combination of Jay and the book, but I love this book. This is one of my favorite books. I like this book more than I like The Secret. I really feel like this book gives The Secret to life better than The Secret does. Not to say The Secret doesn't drop gems, because The Secret does drop gems, but The Secret is more, it's more the secret of the law of attraction, not so much the secret to life, but everybody goes into it looking for that. This book is more the secret to life. And everything really does happen in divine timing, because where I am in my process and in my journey was the perfect time for me to not only read, because when I read it the first time, first of all, I got a lot further than I thought I did. I got more than halfway through before I decided to start over. Where I was then, I needed like partial confirmation, partial validation. So now where I am now, having caught up, I'm here for it. It's a great book. I think it's what everyone goes into The Secret expecting. Also, another one that combines science with not systematic beliefs. What's the word? Let's just say, for lack of a better phrase, religious beliefs and cultural beliefs. I'm all about seeing the relevancy in both. So let's get into these questions, because y'all know I'm a talker, and there's 5 questions. Were there any quotes and or passages that stood out to you, and why? Child, I have a list. Some of them, the first 2 are from when I read it the first time. Second 2 are from the second time. First passage is starts on page 121, goes into 122. Every time you hear Slade, it's referring to Emma Slade, a British expat, just for context. It goes, Slade compares her experience to the lotus flower, which begins in the mud, then grows upward through the water as it seeks light. In Buddhism, the lotus represents the idea that the mud and muck of life's challenges can provide fertile ground for our development. As the lotus grows, it rises through the water to eventually blossom. The Buddha says, just like a red, blue, or white lotus, born in the water, grown in the water, rising up above the water, stands unsmeared by the water in the same way. I, born in the world, grown in the world, having overcome the world, live unsmeared by the world. Excuse me. That made lotuses my favorite flower, and solidified the decision that that's the face tat that I'm getting. But wow, facts. That is not that that's the goal, but that's where the peace comes from in the human experience. Your ability to blossom as your gorgeous, unique, individual lotus, regardless of the mud that you chose light through. Chapter 7, The Mind, page 145. When the 5 senses and the mind are stilled, when the reasoning intellect rests in silence, then begins the highest path. Oh, the charioteer's dilemma? Man, chapter 7. It's okay. Well, those are some of the first 2. Let's keep going. Oh, why? Did I answer why? No, yeah, I feel like I answered why for the first one anyway. The mind. I'll explain why I referenced chapter 7, the charioteer's mind, in a minute. Question 2. How did the book make you feel? What emotions did it evoke? Well, like I said, the first time I read it, about halfway through, it gave me the validation that yes, validation, but it gave me the assurance that I didn't even know I was looking for. I don't know that assurance is the right word either, but it just, the first time I read it, I was like, okay, it's not just me. It's really not just me. Okay. Second time reading through, and finishing this time, hopeful, confident in myself and how I have gone about things thus far, confident in my abilities to make decisions, and justification of why I should be confident in my decisions. um, as well as hope / confidence of how things will unfold. Mm. Ooh. And I've learned some very useful and very gratitude. I'm just grateful because now I've learned a couple things. The charioteer's mind, be the intellect controlling the mind of the senses. Like that is a concept that never crossed my path. But that as an intellect, that makes so much sense, and that is the perfect way to that is the perfect perspective to have to understand how you play a part in your existence, your reality, really. Question number 3. Have any of your personal views changed because of this book? If so, how? Personal views? Kind of, maybe. Not personal views. It's made me realize a couple things. I've realized I'm open to love and all that it is and it comes with, but I don't know if I'm ready for it though. I don't always know what that means in the context of, because you grow in discomfort, but also in the name of self-awareness. I don't know what it means, but that's what it's made me realize. Have any personal views changed though? Also kind of, just again because of the concept of the charioteer, the parent mind and the child mind, the monkey mind and the monk mind. No, the parent mind and the child mind though is really like crazy. But the concept of the charioteer, your senses are in control and will distract you and have you running all over the place. And your mind will let it happen unless your intellect steps in and it's like, nope, we have to focus. We have to pick one thing to focus on. We are making a decision to do this and then that. And your body does this and then that. What personal view has changed based on that? You know what changed? My understanding of not only my ability to let go, but my understanding of why there's always a safety net to letting go. But if you get that, you get that, because I can't explain that part to you. What was your favorite chapter and why? I think I want to say relationships was my favorite. Really, because it's kind of where I am right now. Chapter 10, relationships, people watching. I think that was my favorite. If not chapter 7, the mind, because that was the parent mind, the child mind. That's where the charioteer came from. If not that one, then I think relationships, people watching. Every person is a world to explore. Thick, not none. It's just it. And why? Ooh, the 4 types of trust. Why? Because things that... No, start over. When I set my standards and I set my boundaries and I made my solid decision on why those were my boundaries and why those were my standards, I had a bit of guilt in kind of setting those standards. But chapter 10 really was like, no, these are like, you should have those standards. Got into the 4 types of trust, the network of compassion, the circle of love, The 4 types of trust being competence. The person has the right skills to solve your issue. They're an expert or authority in their area. You trust somebody because you care. They care about your well-being and what's best for you, not your success. You trust someone because of their consistency, they're reliable, present, and available when you need them. Or you trust someone because of their character. They're people with a strong moral compass, and uncompromising values. It just, chapter 10 is really, once you've made it to this point in your journey and you can forgive people without apologies and all these other things, it establishes how to not only invite in new energies and new relationships, but enhance the relationships that you currently have, want to keep, and plan to develop. There were two other parts that I wanted to read, but let me see really quick. Because I don't want to shortchange y'all, considering I was supposed to do this book club 5 ever ago. So yes, I remember the other two things I wanted to read right now, but we're going to combine it with question number 5. So, question number 5. Was the book satisfying to read? Why or why not? Yes, the book was satisfying to read because there was a bunch of little charts and little graphs and things like the or little like doodles like the charioteer that I showed you, but also there's a bunch of like try this tasks / sections, like you heard the blurb say. Oh, here goes one. They have the ladder. The book was visually appealing to read, yes, but also because like Jay just drops gems. He drops gems. Like one of the sections I was going to read on page 195 was, or is, you are not your success or your failure. Sustain this humility after you've achieved something too. When you are complimented, commended, or rewarded, neither lap it up nor reject it. Be gracious in the moment, and afterward remind yourself of how hard you worked and recognize the sacrifices you made. Then ask yourself who helped you develop that skill. Think of your parents, your teachers, your mentors. Someone had to invest their time, money, and energy to make you who you are today. Remember and give thanks to the people who gave you the skills you're getting recognition for. Sharing the success with them keeps you humble. Like what? Dropping gems. Oh, and this was the other one. This was the one that got me. Starting at the bottom of page 264. The problems that some of us face are mental: anxiety, depression, loneliness. Whereas for many of the people in need of service, the greatest challenges are more basic: food, clothing, shelter. We can heal our mental challenges by helping them with their physical needs. Service, therefore, is reciprocal exchange. You are not saving someone by helping them. You need help as much as they do. When we're in service, we're an instrument of grace and compassion. We feel this, and sometimes it goes to our heads. But remember that whatever you are giving was given to you. When you pass it on, you can't take credit for it. Like, Jay. This is an amazing book. I recommend you read this book. Not forget the secret, because the secret can do a lot for you if you're not aware of certain things, if you're not conscious of certain things. But Think Like a Monk should be more widely discussed. Very much should be more widely discussed. But anyway, like I have a list of some of the try this tasks. You know how I feel about that word. That I'm gonna go back and do because they're relevant to my journey right now, and I think will be beneficial. So I'm gonna do them. But yeah, that was Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Love it. Love it. Should be in everybody's library. Next book club next month, we are reading You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. That's going to be next month. Sidebar. It made me not feel some type of way, but when one of my friends had, she posted something that was like, y'all could keep the self-help books, I'm more into these. And posted 3 Harry Potter books / comics, like official comics. I was like, damn, am I one of those now? But look, you got to start somewhere when you're reading, okay? And in my defense, I read the Body Rock series and all of those books a while ago, so I will spin the block on those too, because Y'all just, you like Donicia Banks Bites. I don't remember her last name. I'm so sorry. Doe is an amazing writer, and I don't know if she still does that, but she should. Anyway, like I said, I'm a talker. If you made it to the end of the video and you don't know me, hi. My name's Naori. Stick around. You love it here. Duh. Embrace being a star. Subscribe. Follow my socials. I don't know what they will be. Follow my socials. Book club is once a month. It's at the end of every month. Join my book club, horse. Other than that, I post twice a week, so there are going to be other videos that you like. I guarantee it. Skim my channel. Skim the playlists. You'll love it here. I promise. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.